Would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself before we start?
Yeah, I'm an engineer, so I'm originally a materials engineer, but ended up still engineering, but into the electronics field now. Mainly manufacturing printed circuit boards, laminates, coatings. 25 years doing engineering work now.
And you're one of our trustees as well, aren't
Yes,
you? Yeah.
Yes, I am. Very proud to be a trustee. I've been part of the ESF team for what? You might say 2017, something like that, 2018 when I came on board. And yeah, it's great to see how the charity's developed and how the work is just succeeding so much and making a real difference to people's lives. So yeah, very, very important to be part of the ESF team.
How did you get into engineering? So was there someone or something that kind of made you feel inspired to start, or was it sort of you just got thrown in there? And
a bit of both. So I was always fairly hands-on, very practical. With my dad in the garage, or my grandfather for his engineering business. It was mechanical engineering, kind of tapping and things like that. So that was from quite an early age. So I was always a bit practical. And then I filled a careers survey in at school. So this is around GCSE years, kind of age. Filled it in. I always wanted to be a fast jet pilot, is the truth of it. The RAF, but that wasn't going to happen. But the next thing that came upon the survey was a metallurgist. So I kind of looked into that and ended up thinking, okay, that sounds actually really good, and it kind of fits me and what I like doing. But decided to expand it to become a materials engineer. So it wasn't just metals, it was plastics, ceramics, basically anything real materials that we're making things from. It was the study of those. So went into materials engineering that way. But yeah, always been a very hands-on person with those sorts of things.
Do you think that women today, do you think that sometimes they feel like they can't take that route down engineering? Do you think that there's something holding them back?
I think a lot of it is the fact of, do you see other women doing those roles? There's a group called WISE, the Women in Science and Engineering Group, and they've done a lot of research on this, and it's the seeing someone doing it so you can visualise, actually, yeah, it could be me. I think that's a challenge. We still haven't got as many of us in the industry. But there's nothing to stop women coming into this industry. It's been really good to me. I've enjoyed it. I am enjoying it. And it's a really great kind of, for me, my industry is printed circuit boards. But engineering, you can go into essentially any industry. It's just a matter of finding what you're passionate for, what you enjoy doing. I fell into my bit. I wasn't one of these people that goes, I know what I want to do from a very early age. I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do. I just keep going with it and finding things I enjoy doing. I was at a conference last week in the European Space Agency, and we had a group of 3 young ladies that had come into the industry as engineers, and they gave great presentations. It's actually some of the most fascinating presentations of the lot there. And it's so positive. It reinforces that, yes, you can be a woman, you can be an engineer. And it's seeing other people doing those sorts of roles, I think, it is really important. 'Cause I love Formula One. Used to. But you never see a woman race driver. In my time when I was kind of a young person picking what I wanted to do, you never saw a woman in the pits or doing any of the engineering with Formula One. And so it never even crossed my mind that could be something I could go into. Whereas now you see people in that. And so I think it helps you realise that you can do it and it is an option for you.
Have you had any challenges, and what did you do to sort of overcome them? There might be a story in there.
The first one, I didn't even realise that it was a challenge. My first job that I applied for out of university, I got told after I'd got the position that I nearly didn't get it because one of the people that interviewed me was worried I was going to run off and have a baby.
Wow.
Yeah, really antiquated. Thankfully, everyone else saw fit and gave me the job, and I succeeded really, really well in it. And it was very positive. So hopefully that mindset's gone away. So it was 25 years ago I kind of had to face that mindset, and hopefully that's changed now. Then it's also cultural things. I did a lot of work in Japan when I was, 26, 27. Very lucky, sent over there to work in a factory. But Japan at that point women engineers. Really, there was no visual sign of anyone in the factory. And certainly being young as well really didn't help. But for that, it was just, I just kept going and basically demonstrating what I knew what I was talking about. I wasn't just put there as some token engineer. It was, no, I know what I'm talking about. We work together. And it was just a matter of constantly demonstrating it. And sometimes, if I was if I was a young male engineer, it may not have been, I had to do quite as much. But it was just working your way through it.
Yeah.
And I think now I don't see it so much now. I am the only woman on a lot of different things. I do various committees and stuff. But thankfully, I don't seem to hit any roadblocks now. And now that's because I've earned my place in the industry and people know me. Just keep going. If you come across anything that's really a problem, then obviously it has to be reported. If you're in a situation where it can be reported to someone. But otherwise, it's just keep going. Show them what you're made of. Show them that you know what you're doing. And they come round in the end.
Yeah, we touched on this just then, but the industry is notoriously male dominated. How have you found you've been treated in your sort of career journey? From
generally very good, to be honest. I can't complain. I think it's potentially I'm lucky with the people that I've had the opportunity to work with. So the engineering field, when I was in the manufacturing space, 7 years in a manufacturing environment. I was kind of one of very, very few women in engineering roles. But the guys I was working with were largely really good. We were just engineers, and that was great. When I moved into the safety certification arena, which I did for 12 years, making sure that basically safety certification of materials, things like that, there was actually far more women in engineering roles because I worked a lot with colleagues in the US. We had a lot more women engineers there doing that. So it wasn't a problem, and I would say, again, teacher, I'm just very lucky. I've had supportive people that did that, but again, I showed that I could do it.
Yeah.
Was always willing to volunteer for things. Some fields of engineering, engineering is a very broad church. There's lots of different fields. Some are actually more female dominated. Some of the biology areas, you've got biological engineering. It isn't just the studying of science, it's the engineering side of it. But then, when you get into more the industrial side of it, that's when there's fewer ones. But I had another materials engineer who ran the factory, who was plant manager at the time, and he was because we were both in the same field, very supportive as well, and just saw me for what I could do rather than whether I'd walked in a dress or trousers or, he didn't care about that. It was, could I deliver? And say, those are the kind of things, is find your advocates, find people that are going to mentor you and advocate for you, and just someone you can talk to as well. Because it can be a lonely place at times if you're the only woman in a male-dominated environment.
Yeah.
So, find the people that are going to help you out.
What inspired you to join Electrical Safety First as a trustee? And what do you enjoy most about working with her?
Well, I was with UL at the time, so safety certification. They do a lot of end product safety testing and stuff. So obviously our missions, the company mission and ESF's missions were very, very similar. It's safety. It's got to be the priority. So it kind of fitted well. And I'd never done anything like this. And I was wondering, could I? And came along for the interview. I'd met some of the ESF representatives at various conferences, things like that. Thought, okay, let's go and try it. Because I wanted to help. I always want to make sure that people are safe. And whether that was with automotive electronics or with safety certification company, all of it was about keeping people safe and making sure things worked and worked reliably. So coming to be able to actually do some work with charity.
Yeah.
It was just, this really kind of fits with me, and it'll be something great, and it meets people from different backgrounds, and say like the end product stuff or the installations. That was bits that I wasn't doing. I'm making the bits to go inside them. So it was really good to see it from a different point of view, but to know that the charity's mission was to help and to keep people safe and make sure that products coming into the market were safe or installations were safe, and looking after those people that use it. So that's my family as well. That's my elderly in-laws, that I need to make sure that anything comes into the house is safe. So the thought of coming to work for the kind of charity as a trustee was just, if I can help in any way guide it or just be supportive it was like, no, this is going to be worth a go. And it's turned out to be even better than I could have expected. Team here at ESF are so passionate about the safety mission and keeping people safe, or getting legislation in place to make sure that people don't go public when I'm buying something online, that I don't have to worry about it. Is trying to get that legislation in place to make sure that it's the default, is we have things that are safe. And while we haven't got that, we educate and try and get people to make sure they make the safe choices, and that it's making a difference. And it's actually fits in with engineering. Engineering is about making a difference.
And then last question, what advice would you give to a young female trying to looking to work in engineering? I don't know, let's say 2-3 pieces of advice.
Firstly, go for it. It's a great career, great industry, or say from my industry perspective, it's a great career to have as engineer, and you can make a difference. So definitely do it. Don't be afraid of it being, if you see it's a lot of men, don't worry. We need you to come into it to start helping to change it. There's a group called Women in Science and Engineering that I mentioned, WISE. They've got some great resources as well, because it's important to find the area of engineering that you want to go in. So understand what it is that's going to make you happy, what you're going to have a passion for. It's a job that or a career that you enjoy and you can make a difference with. So really look at that. Mm-hmm. Try and find a mentor. If you can, say organisations like WISE, the Women in Science and Engineering Group, really useful for that. And just say yes. So many of the opportunities I've had and how my careers have gone along is because I said yes at the right time. The imposter syndrome is something a lot of us suffer with, and I still do to this day. But it's kind of just pushing yourself past that and going, yes, I can go and do that. And go and try. There's nothing wrong if you fail, or fail the first time, as you can go and do it the second time. So just go and do it. Find what's going to make you happy, what kind of career is going to kind of make you feel fulfilled. And find good people around you that can support you with that as well. So I do it. Engineering's been great for me. I love it, and the difference hopefully I've made.
You do an amazing job. So thank you for being one of our trustees, but also thank you for your work. It's such an inspiring conversation to have. So
thank you.
Thank you, Emma.